how does Halo go from this to this? And how can a game about ducks
There's no way!
reach a higher peak player count than the holy trinity of Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo combined? It feels like everywhere that I look today. Last of Us Part 1 on PC, Jedi Survivor.
We have an issue here. Will there be a poncho in the game?
I told you we weren't going to talk about this today.
And now Redfall. But seriously, what the hell is going on? To answer these questions, we first need to understand why AAA studios have taken all of their desire to make fun, innovative games and just jazzed it out the window. All the while, indie is noticeably on the rise with exponential growth in unique titles like Project Zomboid and Don't Starve Together. Even with the AAA level of visuals and atmosphere, like we got with Stray and Unrecord, which has surpassed anything I've seen visually from major development teams on Unreal Engine 5. So I think a prime example of how the billion-dollar AAA studios are removing priority of creating innovative and fun games is something that's 20 years old, irresistible to men, and will completely drain your bank account. Can you guess it? It's Call of Duty, you thirsty hobgoblin.
I do not wish to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
Originally just setting out to beat Medal of Honor at World War II games, Infinity Ward actually pitched a Modern Warfare game that they really intended to make for Activision to run as their first title in this new IP, but was repeatedly pushed back until the success of not one, not two, but 3 World War II games, when Infinity Ward was then greenlit for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Locked down in World War II setting for years, dreaming of creating a game they were really passionate about, Infinity Ward already had loads of ideas and creative innovation, like multiplayer perks and kill streaks, which, by the way, did you know that the original plan for kill streaks was just for them to be picked up around the map at random locations instead of being a bonus for getting a kill spree? At the time, they were trying to compete with Halo, so it's not really a surprise they would try to mimic them, but I'm pretty glad they didn't. Can you imagine if tactical nukes were a spawned-in item? With each game after, the creativity and innovation grew, along with the hype. You really can't beat Midnight Release and Double XP Doritos Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. All of this would turn the franchise into the global phenomenon that it is today. During the late 2000s and early 2010s, each game felt inspired and fun, giving us memories that we'll never forget, like laying down that killer comeback in the lobbies.
Yeah, I deep-throated your mom.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, I sounded like I deep-throated a cow, and then I said I deep-throated your mom, so your mom's a cow.
Or that time that you got way too high playing zombies with the boys.
Is this real life?
It was the pinnacle of gaming, but somewhere along the way, something changed. Of course, we could chalk it up to the over-excessive menus and HUDs, making it feel like we're on Hulu instead of a multiplayer video game, or the forceful insertion into our eye holes of microtransactions almost anywhere we look. But the catalyst to the imminent downfall of AAA games is more reliant on 2 things: removing fun as the primary focus of developing their games, and pushing out games in ridiculous states to stay on par with deadlines and get that money. I'm looking at you, Todd Howard.
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
Overhyping every game released with big content, unprecedented experiences, graphical masterpieces that upon release are broken, half shells of what were promised, and basically nothing new. It's honestly pathetic. Billion-dollar companies releasing unfinished, uninspired games, followed by the standard black background with white text, telling us that this isn't the standard that they uphold, and fixes are coming bullshit or whatever. Every damn time. It's exhausting seeing $70 price tags on what should be in the value video games bin at your local Walmart. Now, I can't stress enough that it's not the devs. I see so many comments on videos and on Twitter bashing the devs of these games, berating them for making terrible choices and gameplay decisions. But it's not them. There's really no difference between a AAA dev and an indie game dev. They both probably have similar qualifications, knowledge, and creativity. The difference is who's in charge. With an indie game, it's typically the devs that are making the game. In AAA, there's white-collar execs and boards of out-of-touch non-gamers that are focused not on how to make the best games, but how to make the most money. This is why the devs of these AAA studios don't have the capacity to put out fresh, unbroken games. the leaders of the company don't put quality of the games first. And this primary focus trickles down to everyone in development. Even if you're the most passionate dev working on one of these major projects, for Bethesda, Infinity Ward, DICE, 343, any reward as an employee only comes when your work is furthering the goal of making more money. But there's a paradox. Wouldn't making a great game make more money? 15 years ago, the answer would have been a resounding yes. If you made a great game back then and had a AAA marketing budget, you'd sell a bunch of copies and get paid for the work that you put out. But over the last few years, these companies have recognized that you can make a lot more money without necessarily making a good game. 3 words that should be all too familiar at this point: live service games. Every year, an increasing number of AAA teams are launching live service games with battle passes, sick cosmetics, and catchy dance emotes. Why? Because they make a lot of money after they launch. Today, in the growing gaming market, you don't just make money when people purchase your game, and in fact, that's not even where most of your revenue comes from anymore. You're now able to monetize throughout the entire lifespan of the game. Additionally, it doesn't help that a majority of the live service games that are releasing these days are only doing so because the executives and leadership of these companies are forcing the devs to push out their unfinished and uninspired work to meet quotas, causing most of these games to just end up in the content graveyard in the depths of the abyss along with Anthem. Now, every now and then, we do get a beautifully made gem like Elden Ring, Ghost of Tsushima, or Hogwarts Legacy that defies expectations and really gives us something new and creative. But for every major AAA release, a plethora of great indie games are being dropped. How does a game like Stray have such incredible atmosphere, visuals, and unique examination of humanity in 7 hours in ways that very few AAA games manage in 70? Incredible, given you're a cat surrounded by robots. Or while the numbers of Halo continue to drop, Project Zomboid, a top-down low-pixel zombie survival game from 2013, continues to grow its player count. It's not because these indie devs are more talented, it's because they kept the primary focus of following the fun, reminiscent of the games we enjoyed all those years ago, before everyone was a sweatlord trying to be a famous streamer, when games only made money depending on how many copies they sold, and not on overly pushed microtransactions cluttering up the menus. I've seen so many unique indie games, 10 times more fun, with more content than most of these AAA releases, just with much lesser awareness, a significantly lower marketing budget, and the PC barrier. With the Cycle Frontier, Marauders, Don't Starve Together, Cult of the Lamb, and the list goes on. Now, here we are with Redfall, hitting a pathetic 58% on Metacritic. As one of the most anticipated AAA games 2023, it just shouldn't have been pushed out. Besides the bugs, the AI is absolutely atrocious, with empty, content-lacking environments followed by one of those apologetic social media posts that we've seen time and time again. But every time, we get overhyped by the massive marketing campaigns and buy them every single time. But how much longer can this go on? At its current pace, the AAA bubble will eventually burst. As for 23, all eyes are now on Starfield. The gameplay showcases, the trailers look incredible. As an open world fanatic at heart, I'm truly hoping that Starfield doesn't suffer the same fate and follow suit with the current president of the AAA gaming market. Because the stage is set. A few more years of major flops and the disappointment of gamers on a massive scale will lead to a paradigm shift in the industry. And indie games are expediting that process. The only way that I could see it accelerating further is if indie games took console seriously. While there are many cross-platform indie titles, many more are reserved only for PC owners, leaving a huge market untapped in the indie sector. Most of the games that I've played over the last year or so, I've only been able to do so because I've been on PC. And I can point to several of them that would have had a much higher player count right now if they existed simultaneously on console. Now, I'm by no means a developer, so I'm not sure of what all goes into porting a game to console, but it's clear that there is a huge AAA-shaped hole in the console community, waiting to be filled by fresh and innovative games. We are reaching what looks to be the golden age of the indie developer, because these small dev teams have something that the billion-dollar corporations do not. the right culture, and a desire to follow the fun, just as I do on this channel. I truly value your attention. I can't thank you guys enough for watching these videos and taking a part in this journey with me. Even if you're not subbed and you're just here for the entertainment of the video, you are the most important factor in the type of content that I create. I do try to respond to every single comment that I can, so I look forward to your thoughts on this topic and engaging in some interesting conversations below. I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, indie games are not the only thing rising in 2023. A new genre is starting to gain steam, and you're about to see it everywhere. Check it out. What are you still doing here? Are you gonna click it? You gotta click it or go. There's no other option. My arm's gonna be stuck here till you do something. Just click it.